The sea does not negotiate. It does not care about plans, promises, or purpose. It only answers to force.
The mainsail is tearing! Cut the ropes!
And when the wind rises beyond control, even the strongest vessel becomes nothing more than wood in motion, at the mercy of something far greater than human direction. This is Paul's Shipwreck. Welcome to Everlight Animations. A Roman vessel cuts through the open waters of the Mediterranean. On board is a prisoner named Paul.
We are headed for Rome, regardless of the storm or these chains.
Not a criminal in the way Rome understands crime, but a man being transferred under imperial custody, caught between legal systems, political tension, and an unpredictable future. The voyage begins under uncertain skies.
I warn you, this journey will end in disaster and great loss. Do not ignore the signs of the tempest.
Paul warns the crew early, not as a sailor, not as a captain, but as someone whose perception goes beyond the instruments of navigation. He senses danger ahead, but authority listens to experience, not insight. And experience says, continue. So the ship sails forward. At first, the sea is manageable. Wind presses against the sails. Waves rise and fall in predictable rhythm. But then the horizon changes. Subtle at first, then undeniable. A storm forms. Not a normal seasonal disturbance, but a violent convergence of atmospheric force that begins to erase the boundary between sky and ocean.
Hold fast, men! Secure the rigging! The waves are too high! We must lower the sail now! We can't! The ropes are seized!
The wind shifts direction. Visibility collapses. The sea rises like a living wall. And suddenly, the ship is no longer traveling. It is being carried. This is where survival begins. Not in control, but in surrender to procedure. The crew reacts immediately. Sails are lowered. Cargo is thrown overboard. Weight is reduced in desperate calculation. Every action is a response to one reality. They are no longer in command. The storm decides everything.
Have mercy on us! The waves will take us all!
For days, the vessel is trapped. No sun for navigation. No stars for guidance. No stable horizon. Only motion without direction. Water reaches the deck. Wood groans under pressure. Men fight exhaustion more than waves. Hope becomes something measured in hours rather than outcomes. Even trained sailors begin to lose certainty, because the sea does not exhaust itself to match human endurance. It simply continues. Paul remains among them, not as a captain giving nautical orders, but as a presence of calm within collapse.
Take courage, men! Not one of you will lose his life, only the ship. We must hold fast.
In the middle of chaos, he speaks. Not denial, not false reassurance, but clarity. He tells them they will survive, not because the storm will stop, but because purpose has not been lost. And sometimes, survival is not about control of environment, but preservation of identity inside it.
The waves, they break different here. We're nearing land. Hold fast!
Then comes the breaking point. After days of drifting, battered and directionless, the crew senses land nearby. Sound changes. Waves behave differently. The ship is no longer in open chaos, but near collision with something solid. Then it happens. The vessel strikes. Hard. The hull cracks against unseen ground beneath turbulent water. The structure that carried them through the storm begins to break apart. The order is given. Abandon ship. Chaos returns in a final surge. Soldiers, prisoners, sailors, all forced into one shared reality. Survival is now individual. Some swim, some cling to debris, Some are carried by broken planks of wood that were moments ago part of a functioning vessel. The sea that once threatened now becomes the only path forward. And yet, in the destruction, something unexpected happens. No life is lost. Despite the violence, despite the fragmentation, despite the collapse of structure, every person reaches shore, not because the storm became gentle, but because even within catastrophe, unseen stability remained in motion. Paul survives, not as a myth, not as a symbol of luck, but as a witness to endurance inside absolute instability. This is what makes the story more than maritime disaster. It becomes a study in systems under collapse, because ships, like civilizations, rely on order, navigation,
from the biblical
structure,
era
trust and design.
storms to the digital
But when environment
tempests
overwhelms
of
design,
finance,
only
history
adaptability.
shows us that Christ
And sometimes, what looks like total destruction is actually forced redirection. The ship was not saved. It was broken. But the people were not lost. And that distinction matters, because many moments in life feel like shipwrecks. Plans collapse. Direction disappears. Control is stripped away. And what remains feels like survival rather than progress. But survival itself is often the beginning of a new course. Paul's journey does not end in the storm. It continues beyond it. Because purpose is not defined by smooth travel, but by persistence through disruption. The sea did not cancel his mission. It only changed the conditions under which it would continue. And that is the deeper truth inside this story. You can lose control of direction without losing meaning of destination. Storms can interrupt movement, but they cannot erase calling.
I cannot hold much longer.
Look to the light. We are not lost.
So when everything feels like it is breaking apart around you, remember the ship. Remember the wind. Remember the waves that could not cancel purpose. Because sometimes survival is not the end of the journey. It is the moment the journey becomes real. If this cinematic maritime survival story moved you, subscribe to Everlight Animations for more historical epics where pressure, chaos, and destiny collide. Like this video and share it with someone navigating their own storm right now. Because even when the ship breaks, the story continues.